Okay, moving to the next category, which is medical sciences. That includes medicine, pharmacy, and veterinary sciences, so 3 different disciplines. Starting with honourable mentions. The first is sodium arsenite induces apoptosis and Epstein-Barr virus reactivation in lymphoblastoid cells. And the work was conducted by a group led by Abdelrazak Zebouj and Shafia Touil Boukaffa from Université des Sciences et de la Technologie Houari Boumediene, USTBH. Alf Mabrouk. The second nominated paper was the TP53 Arginine 72 Pro and MDM2 SMP 309 polymorphisms and colorectal cancer risk, a West Algerian population study. And the work was conducted by the group led by Reem Abdelrahman from University of Mohammed Boudiaf in Tehran. The third is antimicrobial effects of 3 essential oils on multi-drug resistance bacteria, which is responsible for urinary tract infections, by Fatima Znati and co-workers from Abu Bakr Bel'aid University in Tlemcen. Alf Mabrouk. The next one is oxidative stress and maternity obesity, fetal-placental unit interaction by Dr. Malti and co. from University of Abu Bakr Bel'aid in Tlemcen. Alf Mabrouk. And now to the award-winning paper, and we will hear comments from Dr. Yassine Amrani, who is holding a position of a reading department of infection, immunology, and inflammation in the University of Leicester, and he works as part of the School of Medicine. So he currently holds a tenured readership, which is equivalent to associate professor, mashallah, in respiratory immunology. And he is also a member of the Lung Health in Glenfield Hospital. And Dr. Amrani's lab currently investigates different aspects of pathogenesis of lung diseases. And he receives a total of $8 million worth of research and program grants, which is staggering, really, as a PI, as co-PI, and co-investigator from the National Institute of Health in the US, American Lung Association, and the Parker B. Francis Foundation. A round of applause.
First of all, I would like to, it's very important for us, before we start congratulating the authors, to thank, first of all, Usama and his team, because they've done a fantastic job, not only for us here, but also for the community back in Algeria. So before we start, I would like you to applaud them, because they deserve it. So the paper which I was asked and honored to present is a very good paper in terms of quality, because this is basically what we actually currently doing. And I will give you just 4 aspects, quick aspects, why this paper was possibly, to my knowledge, selected. So this paper is entitled Interferon Gamma TNF Involved During Alzheimer's Disease Progression and Correlate with Nitric Oxide Production, a Study in Algerian Population. So the first reason why I think this paper has been nominated and selected is the clinical importance of the study. So they are studying Alzheimer's disease, and as you possibly all know, Alzheimer's disease is a disease where there's no cure and no treatment. And the worst is we know very little about what is driving the disease. So basically, and it's mostly a disease affecting elderly, some of you would say that. But the problem is we are aging, the population aging, so we live longer. So we may expect a rise in the number of Alzheimer's. So we need study to actually understand what is driving the disease. If we don't have that, then it's going to be very complicated for us to actually treat this patient. That's the first element, clinical importance. The second element is the translational aspect. And this is basically what I would like the Algerian community within the medical field to do research, which is basically what we call translational medicine. Use laboratory experiment and see how it impacts clinical practice. This is basically what we are actually doing. And this is what this study possibly may lead. How can we use the basic knowledge and apply it? And this suggests that, this among the author here, is that you have an array of different expertise. You have basic scientists, you have medical doctor, neurologists, and you have scientists, all together for the same cause, trying to better understand what is actually causing this disease. The third point is the study design. The study design is that they've used patients, and few studies are doing that, they've used patients at different stages of the disease with Alzheimer's disease. And this information is very important. Why? Because we can learn about what is actually driving the disease toward progression and severity. And the ultimate stage of Alzheimer's disease, as you may know, is dementia. It's basically a complete dependence on others, and the patient cannot do anything. And the fourth one is the message, which is basically they found some molecular, which I'm not going to go into detail because you're going to sleep. Is basically they were able to identify some mechanisms that could actually help us understand what are the mechanisms that are driving the disease from the start and later on. And they found, for example, that TNF is increased in the severe patient with Alzheimer's disease, while interferon was mostly associated with mild cognitive impairment, which is the early sign of the disease going to the end stage, which is dementia. So the study was published by Belkhalfa from Babzouar. Again, they're very popular, Babzouar. Shafia Twil is the last author. She directed the study. I know from my side, I know a couple of people inside, so I'm very proud to me to award this 2015 Algerian Paper of the Year in Medicine, Pharmacy, and Vet Science. Again, thank you very much.
Hello. السلام عليكم دكتور مراد. مساء الخير، معك عبد الرزاق من فريق النصر. ألف مبروك على النجاح تاع الفريق العلمي تاعك. الله يعزك ان شاء الله. الله يبارك فيك، لو تعطينا انطباعاتك على الفوز بالجائزة العلمية ان شاء الله. تفضل.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام.
Donc je parlerai un peu en anglais. Donc it is great pleasure for me to participate in this event, and I am honored to have this award. At the first, I would like to thank all participants in the organization of the third edition of Algerian Paper for the Year Award. I extend my gratitude to Professor Koufa and all who helped me realize this modest award. I'd like also to dedicate this award for the Algerian patients and the staff of the Department of Neurology in Paris and the Mustafa Basha Hospital. Thank you for Yasine Amrani. Donc je tiens à vous remercier beaucoup.